I'm Nicole, 35. Standing in the courtroom, I feel a mix of relief and exhaustion as the judge's words echo through the room. This court dismisses the petition with prejudice. The trust will be unfrozen immediately, and an investigation into possible perjury will be initiated. The tension that has been building for so long finally starts to ease. My family's attempts to take my son's legacy have been defeated, but the journey here has been a long and painful one. A year ago, my world shattered when my 10-year-old son, Leo, was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder. Leo was a bright and brave boy, full of dreams of becoming a scientist to find a cure for kids like him. Despite the harsh treatments, he never lost his spirit. I spent 18 months by his side, fighting for his life, learning medical jargon, and challenging insurance denials. My family, on the other hand, seemed to turn a blind eye. My parents, Henry and Lisa, are well-to-do business people. They've always been more focused on their social status and financial success. My sister, Ava, is a socialite who lives a life of luxury. She's always been jealous of the close bond one had with Leo. And my so-called best friend, Lily, whom I've known since high school, started to distance herself as Leo's condition worsened. Before his company transferred him overseas, my ex-husband, Jake, set up a $900,000 trust fund for Leo. He told me, "If anything happens, this is for you and Leo's future. You've sacrificed so much for him." Little did I know how soon those words would become crucial. When Leo passed away, I was devastated. Standing at his graveside, I was alone except for my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Thompson. She had been a constant support during Leo's illness, bringing us homemade meals and sitting with Leo when I needed a break. Meanwhile, my phone buzzed with a text from my mother. "Bring the trust documents tomorrow. We need to talk." I was shocked. They hadn't even bothered to come to Leo's funeral, but they were interested in his trust fund. The next day, I drove to my parents' mansion. As I walked in, the atmosphere was cold and business-like. Ava sat on the sofa, looking impatient, and Lily was there, avoiding my eyes. My father wasted no time. "We think you're in no condition to manage this trust. Ava will be the trustee. Sign here." I was furious. How could they be so heartless? I started to notice the signs of their long-term planning. There were old research papers on trust laws on the table, dated back to when Leo was first hospitalized. I realized they had been scheming to take the money from the moment they knew about the trust. Desperate, I reached out to Jake's parents, Tom and Grace. They were in Australia at the time, but immediately offered their support. Jake had also mentioned a top-notch trust attorney, Mr. Harris, before he left. I called his office and explained my situation. Mr. Harris was a wise and experienced man. He showed me Jake's statement of intent for the trust. "This trust is to ensure Leo's future, and if something happens, it's for Nicole, who has given everything for his care." I was filled with gratitude that Jake had thought so far ahead. We also discovered that my family had been calling Mr. Harris's office, asking about trust provisions and beneficiary laws. They knew about the trust terms long before Leo's death, and that's why they were so eager to take control. As the battle intensified, my family started to spread false rumors about me. They claimed I was mentally unstable due to my grief. Lily even signed an affidavit stating that I had become erratic during Leo's illness. But I wasn't going to let them win. I gathered evidence. I had records of every hospital visit, every treatment decision I made. Mrs. Thompson had kept a detailed journal of my dedication to Leo. I also contacted Leo's teachers and doctors, who were willing to provide character statements. One day, I received a text from Mrs. Thompson. Lily was asking about Leo's treatment schedule at the hospital. "Be careful." I knew they were getting desperate. They even accessed Leo's medical records without permission, a serious privacy violation. We prepared for the court hearing. Mr. Harris added a defamation counterclaim to our strategy. The day of the hearing arrived. My family's attorney painted a picture of me as a dangerous and unstable person. Lily and my mother testified against me, but their lies were soon exposed. Mr. Harris presented our evidence methodically. He called the hospital records administrator, who confirmed that Ava had accessed Leo's records illegally. Mrs. Thompson testified about my unwavering care for Leo. Tom and Grace spoke about Jake's intentions for the trust. Then Mr. Harris played a recording of a conversation between my family members. I heard my father say, "Once we get the guardianship, we can use the money however we want." The courtroom fell silent. The judge finally made her decision. She dismissed the petition, ordered an investigation into possible perjury, and granted a restraining order against my family. I felt a wave of relief and justice. After the court victory, I focused on creating something meaningful with Leo's legacy. I established the Leo's Hope Foundation, which supports families dealing with rare blood disorders. Mrs. Thompson became the volunteer coordinator, and Mr. Harris handled all legal matters pro bono. 6 months later, I visited the pediatric unit where Leo spent so much time. The walls were painted with colorful space scenes that Leo would have loved. A young nurse, Emily, came up to me. "I'm the first Leo's Hope Scholar. Thanks to this foundation, I can specialize in pediatric hematology." I smiled, knowing that Leo's legacy was making a difference. 1 year after Leo's funeral, I returned to the cemetery. A woman approached me with a little girl. "I'm Mrs. Johnson, and this is my daughter, Mia." Mia was diagnosed with the same condition as Leo last year. "The specialist funded by your foundation saved her life," Mia said shyly. "Thank you for helping me." I knelt down and hugged her. Leo would be so happy to hear that. Looking back, I've learned that family isn't always about blood. The people who truly stand by you in difficult times are your real family. I've become stronger, and I'll always protect Leo's legacy.